groove illusion is something that you don't expect to hear. It's something like a pattern or a groove that will change your perception of time and space.
Well done. Well done. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another live lesson with on Drumeo, and I'm sitting beside Camille Bigeault.
Yeah, Bigeault, very French name.
Very French name. Well, welcome to Drumeo.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. So much fun. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. You're an amazing drummer, as you just heard. That song was called, actually, that song had a lot of groove illusions in there, and that song was called Room 8. By which artist?
By me.
You created that yourself?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a track from, I created with Logic Pro, with the sounds of Logic Pro.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I'll let
thank
you
you.
catch your breath. If you guys haven't heard of Camille, you got to check her out. She's got tons of great videos on her YouTube channel. She's got a Facebook page. You can find her on Instagram at Camille Bigeault. That's CamilleBigeault. Okay. Find her there, or you can search her on Facebook, Camille Bigeault on Facebook, or you can find her on her website, which is www.camillebigeault.com. So make sure you check her out there. You are been killing it lately, doing lots of master classes and clinics, more on advanced rhythm concepts, I guess you can say.
Yeah, on rhythmic illusions and ostinatos and placements and everything I like to practice and to search over the kids. Yeah, I try to teach it. Even for beginners, I try to find ways to teach it so they have new doors open, you know.
Very cool. And you've been playing with an artist, a French artist named Jennifer.
Yeah, I'm gonna play actually with her because we just auditioned, and Jennifer has brought a whole new team of only girls. So I'm part of the team, and we are touring next year. So that's very cool.
Very cool indeed. Now you're also our first Drumeo instructor from France.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool
I'm
achievement.
so honored to be the first French teacher on Drumeo. That's so cool.
Awesome. Well, we've got a lot to teach today, so much that we won't be able to fit it all into one live lesson. So we're going to be filming a bunch of extra stuff with Camille for Drumeo Edge, including a course on polyrhythms, a course on building solo creativity and freedom with ostinatos, and maybe even some more groove illusions. And this is a really cool topic. What you played there had a lot of illusions. And what is an illusion? What is a groove illusion?
Groove illusion is something that you don't expect to hear, actually. It's something like a pattern or a groove that you will include in your already set up play, and that will change your perception of time and space. So when an illusion occurs, for example, the audience often loses the track of the real beat, and he doesn't know where is the beginning anymore. So that's the magic of it. And it's often like superposing or mixing several metrics or type signatures at the same time using a common subdivision.
Give us an example. Just play us a groove illusion or something along this line, just to give us an example of what you're talking about here.
Okay. For example, I use the same subdivision, that is this subdivision, and I did a different grouping over that subdivision, and that made a new groove over my first groove, and I kept the beat with the hi-hat, and my new beat was here playing with the closed hi-hat.
Love it.
For example.
I love it. We got a lot ahead of you, so download the PDF. Make sure you're ready. Before we get into it, though, do you want to play us one more track?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Maybe do Human Hardware.
Yeah.
By the group
from
Icefish.
Icefish.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's do that, and then we'll get right into the lesson.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. Very cool song. I love that track.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get into it. Groove Illusions. What do you got for us, Camille?
Yeah, I have plenty of things.
Yeah. And it's funny, when you came, she had 21 pages. It was great. It was great. I'm like 50 exercises. I'm like, yeah, I've got to cut it down a bit.
Yeah, I have to choose some exercises.
Pick and choose the best ones.
It won't fit. So the first illusion I have for you is, in my opinion, maybe the simplest illusion you can do is just concerning your driving hand. I call it driving because it's all that you do over a groove with your right hand, if you're right-handed, of course. So all that you can do with your hi-hat or your ride. It's simply, let me just do a groove. This. I want to keep the same pattern, that is accentuating the beats, but I will displace this pattern a little bit. Here is my subdivision. There is 4 notes per beat, so I will just displace this pattern from note after note. So the first displacement will sound like this. Okay. The second displacement, if you start with the third note, you end up playing half beats. And the fourth note, if you start with the fourth note, it sounds like this. So it's really cool to use, and don't hesitate to go search for your effect symbols, because it makes sound more tension, and it's very cool to hear this way. So I really like those displacements, and those are illusions, because as soon as you play them, the audience will start wondering, okay, where is the beat? Is it on the kick and the snare, or is it in your drive? Well, it's pretty obvious it's on the kick and snare. But the audience will still wonder a little bit, what's happening? Why is the drive displaced like this? Mm-hmm. And it creates tension. And you can apply it for every groove in 4/4, for example, in every style, and it doesn't really impact on the feeling of your bandmates, like they won't be lost because you still have your basic groove going on. So those are very cool to use without getting the listener too much lost.
Yeah, it's like a subtle illusion, I guess you could say. Show us some examples just playing different grooves that you would apply this concept to.
Okay. 4/4 grooves, I guess, yeah.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite one you find that you use more often? Because we have like A, B, C, and D, just displacing a 16th note. Do you find one that you use most?
I think I will use the one that is starting on the second note of the subdivision.
Right.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one I think I prefer.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you also, before the lesson, you were showing me how you can follow the groove within that displacement.
Do I play it on the track? Or?
Yeah, you even got a track for it too.
Yeah.
So what you basically are going to do here is you're going to not just displace the hi-hat, you're now going to play the beat.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow all my illusion with the hi-hat with my kick and snare. So all the groove will be displaced. I will play it on the right, and my my hi-hat here will stay like doing the real beat all along.
Gotcha.
So let's go.
Okay, explain that one to us. You gotta do it one more time. Explain what you just did there.
So I basically I played the groove and I displaced the groove from 1/16 notes, and then I played the basic groove again, and I displaced my groove from 2/16 notes, so like on the half beats. I played my basic groove again, and the last combination is I played on the fourth 16 note, and then that's over.
Do it one more time if you can. That was so cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. One illusion I didn't talk about on the same kind of thing is groups of three. So I play a regular groove and then I just play single strokes every 3 notes. So there are many possibilities with this illusion. You can do a shuffle groove, for example, instead of doing single strokes like this. You can go for, and that sounds much better. So this one is very cool, and you can go on the stacks. For example, you can also follow the groove here. Follow the illusion with your groove.
Okay.
So,
show us what that looks like.
Yeah. I will play first regular bars like. Then my illusion simple strokes, then shuffle, and then I will enter the groove completely into the illusion. So you can also, thanks to that, if you follow your illusion with your groove, you can also change your music style. So I went from a regular groove like this one to a shuffle groove out of nowhere. Because they are linked with the same subdivision. Like, you can really do whatever you want with these subdivisions because it's just a matter of your choosing of groupings. So you can do groups of 3. We won't do that here, but you can go for 5s too or 7. So really, all your illusions are based on your subdivisions.
Now, if I give you a click, I think, because I want to hear that, because I know what you're doing, you're modulating, and when you hear it without a click, it's really hard to hear the power of it.
Yeah.
Do you have a metronome on here? Well, let me find, I've got one on here.
Yeah, I have one.
Sounds like you feel like you're speeding it up.
Yeah. So with illusion you can slow down or speed or whatever the time. That's the magical thing. And I did that illusion in human hardware too. So instead of going for a shuffle, I went for like the groups of 3 you're doing. Just take your groups of 3 and they become your new 8th note. And you go for your groove. So if I want to explain the groove illusion in human hardware, you're here. And then you do groups of 3. So really your groupings are the new value of note. So you can choose it's your new value of 4th note or 8th note, and you can do new grooves with it and slow down or accelerate the time. So that's cool.
Awesome.
So you can do groups of 5 too. It's the same principle. I will show it's like I don't want to just simple strokes like 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to do this pattern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me play this regular pattern and then the illusion, and then I will go into it with all the groove. So I can show you what it sounds, how it sounds in a more musical context.
Well, first break down what you just did there. You did 2 different patterns.
Yeah.
Explain the first one.
So the first one was just doing the illusion with the hi-hat. So my subdivision is here, and I do groups of 5. But my groove stays the same, so it's just an illusion over the groove with the hi-hat. And And then, if I want, I can follow this pattern, and it turns out. It turns in a groove of 5. Sorry. So now I can play it in a more musical context.
Very cool. So that was back and forth from straight to the 5-note grouping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first one was I basically followed the melody that is in 5. So the first one I did was kind of regular, and then I went back to the original groove, and I started my illusion just hearing the melody. So you can really start it everywhere you want, as long as it fits the melody, if it's in 5, for example. And then I followed my groove, but you really have to keep the real beat in mind, so you can you know where to loop again and to end your illusion to start your main groove.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's all notated. If you guys need to watch this again, that's totally fine, but you do have the sheet music there in front of you. Let's move on to the 6/8 Bossa Nova. This one's really cool. You have a cool track for it as well, and this is where it gets into some real illusion that because you might have seen groupings before. It's not the first time people have talked about it, but this stuff's really cool, especially when you get into the stylistic stuff.
Yeah. Should I explain it first?
Play it first and then explain it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you had like a shuffle going on. It's like some bossa nova back into the shuffle. Explain what you're talking about here.
Yeah. So my first groove is a shuffle, and again I use my subdivision to do a group of 4 because shuffle is groups of 3 basically. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So instead of doing this, I want to do this. So you can practice maybe on a shuffle groove, just the drive. So it's just a matter of groupings and subdivisions. I'm feeling the same subdivision here. It's okay. So I basically changed my drive, and I went straight ahead with a new groove that is Bossa Nova.
Awesome. Play it for us again, slow it down. So you guys, again, you have the sheet music in front of you if you guys need 4 C's kind of breaking down the pattern.
Yeah. exactly.
And 4B is just the pattern?
Yeah, the A is your original pattern. The B is the pattern you want to play just after. So you want to include that pattern in your subdivision. And then you just play the A and you try to go from A to C. C is the bossa nova pattern, played in 6/8. So it takes 4 bars to resolve entirely.
Play it with the track one more time if you don't mind.
Okay.
That's really cool. All right, you got one more illusion for us.
Yeah, and this is, the best one. So the rumba clave 2/3 is this one. We call it 2/3 because we have first 2 strokes and then 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna basically go from this groove, this clave, to a new groove in 6/8, this one.
So can you first starting with 5A, and you don't have any snare notated just because you improv the snare, I
Exactly,
imagine, right?
yeah.
So show us 5A again, just so we can get reference point here.
5/8 is this one. This is 5A. The groove we want to include as an illusion is this one. So I'm gonna break my ostinato with the feet here to just keep the clave with the left foot. Okay, so I'm gonna do this groove with this clave. So it's gonna sound a bit like what's going on, but in fact my clave here is the reference point of my real groove, because I just started with this groove, this clave in 2/3. So thanks to this clave, I know where I am in the real beat. So
All right.
should I play it with?
Let's hear it
music?
without the track, and then we'll do it with the track.
Okay. So.
Now you prepared a pretty cool practice track too. You want to play it with that?
Yeah, actually, it's just loops from Logic Pro, so I
Don't
didn't.
tell everyone
I didn't
that.
make everything.
You did the
but
piano and everything yourself, Camille.
yeah,
Come on.
I created all this.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. I wanted to get up and dance. Very cool stuff. So you can hear it almost has like a halftime illusion feel to it when you cut into that, and then you go back to the normal, and you can feel a big shift. And it's right. It's not like most non-drummers won't kind of know what's happening, but they'll feel something.
Yeah,
it's changed.
exactly. Yeah, something that has changed, and the point of reference has changed. The beats too. But if you still have the real point of reference in the head, or if your bandmates are playing it, you can just hear and figure out where you are exactly in the beat in order to fall again on the real beat.
So we got to wrap up. We're running low on time. But is there anything else you wanted to add to this, or to say to the students out there who are getting into Groove Illusions, or anything like that? Maybe listening references to listen to some other bands or songs that have this in there?
Yeah, of course. You can find it in many styles of music, like jazz, fusion, but most of all, I think in rock or progressive rock or metal, you will find a lot of these illusions, and even as a principal idea of composing. So I'm talking about bands like Tesseract, David Maximitsich, Pliny, Genesis, maybe all those progressive bands are using a lot of illusions inside, and of course odd time signatures. So yeah, you can listen to it, to progressive rock. And I can only advise you to start with this wonderful book I started with when I was at the conservatory, that is called Rhythmic Illusions by Gavin Harrison. So it's a wonderful book, and all that I said here is kind of explained in his way of explaining in this book, and that's how I started learning this thing.
Big time. Gavin Harrison's book and DVD is amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, go and do that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Camille.
Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge thanks to Tama, of course, for helping us out. We have a beautiful Tama Star Classic here, but we didn't have an 8-inch tom. We were kind of freaking out because I know how much you wanted that 8-inch tom for your setup.
That's very important.
And they came through and sent one. This is like one from their other kit, and they had said no problem. So thanks, Tama. Yeah. Huge thanks to Meinl, of course, Remo as well, Vic Firth. Yeah. And Simpat as well, too. Yeah. So, and thanks to you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, come over to Drumeo.com. We're going to do a lot more with Camille inside of Drumeo Edge. We're going to do a couple courses with her. We already did a couple cool quick tips and challenges and solos and all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of fun inside. So hopefully you can check us out there. If you want a free trial, Drumeo.com/trial. And leave a comment below. What do you think of Groove Illusions? Is it something you guys are working on? Is it something you guys have tried before? You a master at it? I'm not a master at it. You going to play us out?
Yeah.
What are you going to play us with?
A Super Moria Bros. It's one of my tracks too.
Super
Moria Bros.
Moria Brothers.